duplicatable resource for building your
Said to
business.
themselves, oh, well, they're too young or too old, they've got too much money or not enough, or they're too busy, too educated, they don't travel, or they wouldn't do something like this. See, it's not your job to pressure anyone to become a customer, a rep, or both. It's your job to share this with everyone and let them make an educated decision. Create your list by putting your friends' names and numbers onto paper. That's right, it's no good in your phone or on Facebook. You want to write everyone down. This will do a few things. 1, it will help hold you accountable. You'll be able to physically mark off those you've talked to and track your progress. 2, it will boost your confidence. Success in this business or any other is based on perseverance and is largely mental. You only fail if you quit, and people usually only quit when they get discouraged. So if you constantly see this big list of people you still haven't talked to, you'll stay energized even when people say no along the way. 3, your list shows your friend how serious you are, giving you power. Every new business needs customers, and your list is a critical step on your path to success. Soon you'll have a list of hundreds, but phase 1 starts with your hot market, meaning the most
Products,
comfortable
opportunity, or both. As soon as we get someone signed up, the
First rule, be yourself. Your friends like you for who you are. This is a relationship business, but just because you're now in a business doesn't mean you should change your behavior. If you're weird or different, they'll feel uncomfortable. Second, be brief. So say real quick, or whatever you'd normally say to keep the conversation short. We're inviting, not presenting. Look at inviting as simply setting appointments so you can show your friend an entire presentation. Most people don't want to be salespeople, and even though our friends might ask, what is it? Avoid this explaining trap. Remember, we're showing, not telling. So you could say, it'd be like trying to give you a haircut over the phone. I'll show you everything when we meet, trust me. And you will, starting with the 3-step setup followed by a full presentation. To be clear, explaining includes any words like opportunity, travel, business, or money. These words can't tell the whole story and could trigger your friend to prejudge and say no without ever seeing the membership or the business. Have you ever tried to explain every time? You want to use a little something we call the 2-step text. It's super simple because it has exactly 2 steps. In step 1, you're going to text your friend, could you do blank this week? In the blank, put something you would normally do with that person, such as coffee,
Let's talk
tea.
about a technique called the 3-step setup. Let's break down the 3 steps. 1, your why. 2, big deal, all in. And 3, no pressure. We start with your why. Another way to think about this is your problem. A good acronym to remember for why is, what hurts you? Here's why. Life usually looks better on Facebook than it really is, right? So in this step, we're going to share why we're doing World Ventures. We need to get real with our friends and let them know some of our problems. Be vulnerable. Are you missing your kids growing up? Are you in debt? Are you struggling to have enough retirement income? Share this with your friend. Be raw and authentic. This gets them thinking about their life and gives them permission to be real with us. Be mindful to use Me Too statements and not so what statements. For instance, even though you may have the goal to get a BMW through the World Ventures opportunity, saying, I've always wanted a BMW, is a materialistic so what statement. Instead, sharing a different aspect of your story like, I'm sick of dropping my kids off at daycare, I want to raise my own children and be there for them, is a personally meaningful Me Too statement. Your why could be anything. Things like, the last 5 years flew by and nothing has changed. Or, I had to move back home after school because I can't find a job. Just make sure it's authentic. Share your why as step 1. You would say, thanks for meeting with me. I've got something huge I want to share with you. It might seem like things are going well from the outside looking in, but... Then share your why in your own words. This should take about 15 seconds. Once you're done with the first step, you need to transition to step 2 by saying, I was looking for something, and I found it. We've introduced a problem to your friend that they A, identify with, and B, are dying to know how to solve. They already want to see the presentation. This moves us to step 2, big deal, all in. It sounds like this. Now, this thing I just found is a huge deal. It's spreading all over the world. I've looked at this thing top to bottom. I've done all the research, and I am all in. This is what I was looking for. What we've done here is establish posture. This is not some small-time thing. You're serious, and they should take it seriously. You've reduced the risk of receiving several of our most common objections. You've put your chips all the way in, using the poker metaphor, and you're subconsciously letting them know that their opinion is not going to impact you one way or the other. This moves us to step 3, no pressure. The last step is letting them know you're doing this with or without them, and here's how that would sound.
Now, I don't know how this will strike you. I want you to know either way is cool with me and it's not going to affect us one bit. All I know is the people I'm working with and I see what's happening, and I don't want to miss out. We're going to show this to as many people as we can, and I wanted to give you the chance to be one of the first. Is that cool?
In sales, this is a very powerful technique called the takeaway, and in this case, it's absolutely true. You're already committed with or without them. As funny as this may sound, people are more likely to take action when they feel that we don't care one way or the other. People follow people who know where they're going. You're giving them a chance to come with you. Make sure to say, "Is that cool?" as the last phrase. They always say yes. Now show them the presentation. Using this 3-step setup before every presentation can dramatically improve your results. Now, get back in the game. The better we edify, the more powerful the new relationship will be. This is a cornerstone for successful people. In our business, edification is helpful anytime we're making an introduction. At a presentation, properly edifying the speaker will set them up as the expert and give your friend added reason to pay attention and receive the information. Without it, your friend may not appreciate the speaker's credibility.
You should be here sign. It all starts before the presentation. From the moment to Quick Coach, the training library for World Ventures reps on the go. This is part 2 in our event etiquette mini-series for travel parties, luncheons, and big shot hotel meetings during the presentation. Once the event is underway, there's still a lot you can do to make sure it's successful for both you and the rest of the team. First off, even though we're in our seats, our friend is part 3 after the presentation. Before we begin, although there are some references, for more details on properly asking your friend to join, check out Quick Coach Closing Fundamentals. Once the presentation is over, the focus is helping them fill out an application. The training library for World Ventures reps on the go. Let's talk about sharing your success story. Congratulations, you've been picked to share your testimony, or what we call a success story, at an event or on a conference call. Before we share the parts you need to create your story, here's a reminder of what a success story is not. This is not the time to represent, resell, give training tips, or try and close the room by telling them to join. Facts tell, but stories sell. That's because they're authentic and make a connection. Sharing Dream Trips experiences, if you're a member, and having solid rep success stories is probably more important than the presentation. When our friends hear from people they can relate to, it'll help them feel more comfortable to get started. And hearing multiple stories validates everything they're seeing. Okay, grab a pen and paper. It's best if you can write your story down and say it a few times.
With texting. But this time, we'll focus on scheduled launch events. If you haven't watched Quick Coach Inviting Fundamentals and the 2-step text, do that now. They provide the foundation for this training. Now here's a text invitation that you can use specifically for a scheduled launch event. If you watch the 2-step text training, you know that we had a phrase of "this week" in our invite. That won't work if we need them to be at a specific place at a specific time for a presentation. So instead, we're going to use this invitation, starting the day before the launch event. If it were at 7 p.m. tomorrow, you'd start by clearing the date individually with each of your friends by texting, "Hey, are you free tomorrow at 7 p.m.? You're not waiting on a reply though. Simply go down your list of names, sending them each that same text to clear the date and time. If they have plans or are busy, send something like the following text. "Okay, cool, I'll catch up with you later." If they're available, and only if they're available, you can send the next text, which is the actual invite. For a launch event at your house, send something like this. "Great! I'm having a select group of friends over to share something and I want to address everyone at the same time, starting right at 7 p.m. See you then," and insert the address. If they ask what's going on, for example, "Are you getting married, buying a house, pregnant, etc.?" simply say, "No, it's not that. I'm sharing with everyone at the same time. See you then." Or if they ask, "What is it?" say, "That's why I'm having everyone over. See you at 7. That's the framework. Grab your list and your phone to start inviting to the next event. Now, get back in the game.
Welcome to Quick Coach. Are you ready to get started? Great. In a moment, you'll understand why that question and that silence are what it's all about. Let's talk about closing fundamentals. Our goal is to help your friend decide to become a customer, a rep, or both,
And there are some non-threatening techniques we can learn to help them say yes. And in addition to helping your friend get started, these same skills can also be used for getting customers to book a dream trip or reps to attend our amazing events. Everyone's in sales. Whether you're convincing your children to eat vegetables, persuading your boss to give you a raise, or getting your friend to see the movie you want to see, sales just means moving people to action. In this video, we're going to cover the 3 main reasons people don't buy. You don't ask, you overwhelm them, or you break the silence. And we'll teach you some basic skills to address them. No one wants to feel pressured, so sales are really about relationships. People typically only buy from you when they like you and trust you. Let's start with the biggest one.